Hi people, and hello my Chili Con Carnage crew, it's Chili here, the man who produces Iron From My Eyes, doing a 5-minute review on Fu Manchu's latest album, The Return of Tomorrow. Ever since the rise of the stoner rock scene in the 90s, there have been some iconic bands driving this force, and of course Fu Manchu is certainly one of them. With a consistent lineup for the past 20 years, and Scott's masterful spoken, as a matter of fact, lyrical delivery, they have carved a niche in the field for a good measure, and The Return of Tomorrow is the band's 13th album to date, and a quick shout out to the album cover, which I think is awesome, showing something like a rip in the space and time on an otherwise picturesque kind of day, while someone of course is floating away to the rapture. I like this album cover. This album cover reminds me of the Ramones album cover, Leave Home, except much better. Now for the music. With 13 tracks of no-nonsense rock and roll music on offer and a runtime of just under 50 minutes, my first impressions of this record were rather tempered, to be honest. I mean, the first few songs were decent enough, but felt a bit flat on delivery. I'm listening to these songs and they aren't really grabbing my attention for whatever reason. Maybe I was a bit distracted at the time, grabbing my morning coffee order. But let's be honest, if the music isn't causing me to stop mid-order like the scent of freshly brewed caffeine surrounding me, then something is really amiss. Maybe a second playthrough would change my mind, but for now we continue, and I've got to say that the second half of the album is really where it starts to pick up in my mind, particularly on the track Solar Baptized. Now, upon my return to this album, I did warm up a little bit to the fuzzy soaked staggered riff fest that is on offer here, and found myself really enjoying the song on hands, for example like Zodiac with its pure driving force of a tune, but once again not too many other songs really caught my attention. Admittedly, it did sound better than before, and not as bland as a piece of toast, but there is just something lacking and I just can't put my finger on it. Maybe it just has to do with trying to chase after a sound from the past, but I don't think that's what the problem is on here. Stoner rock is a genre that has always stood tall, to me at least anyway, but it's also a genre that doesn't really evolve too much. Even when you listen to the new bands that are emerging, they are all very much similar in taste. There is slight different afflictions within the music, but it all kind of draws back to that main boiling point. But then again, it might also be me. I think this just boils down to the tracks themselves and how certain ones don't really click to me, with Haze the Hides or Destroying Light, and it really broke the album's playthrough because these songs were every second track. So I guess when you have one good track followed by one bad track, followed by one good track, followed by another bad track, it just ruins the whole experience for you. And I believe this is the main issue I was having. This really broke the album's playthrough, bringing not only my mood down, but leaving a staggered indifference on this album as a whole. The band plays to their strengths of course, and live up to their style, so I don't think the fans are going to be too disappointed by what's on offer. But I guess I just never got fully into their albums outside of a few songs that are absolute bangers. By no means is this a bad album, quite the contrast, but it is one that I know I won't be revisiting too often. If it comes up on some kind of shuffle playthrough, then I wouldn't skip any songs, or at least most of them, but I would bet that it would be one of those songs that makes me go, oh, who is this? Overall, I'll give this album a score of 7 million chilies on the spicy scale, with my favourite tracks being Solar Baptized, Hands of the Zodiac, and Dehumanize. It was fun to play through this album, even if I had to force myself to replay it with each subsequent playthrough, but this notion quickly faded over time and is now virtually non-existent to the point that I might actually be playing this record on my own, and not for the purpose of reviewing it down the path sometime. But maybe for now, I might have to revisit some of their earlier works to really get into that mood. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always people, you have a great day and stay spicy.